Donald Trump has completed his European trip, which began with a NATO summit and ended with a historic meeting with Vladimir Putin. Positive steps and real progress. Those are the words both leaders used to describe the talks, something that caused outrage in the media back home.
I don't know which side is the bride and which side is the groom, Anderson, but it sort of feels like we're at a wedding.
You have been watching perhaps one of the most disgraceful performances by an American president.
Why is President Trump putting himself in this vulnerable, high-stakes scenario and letting Vladimir Putin lead?
Politicians joined the media in denouncing Trump after the U.S. leader vouched for Putin when the topic of election meddling came up during their press conference.
President Putin, did you want President Trump to win the election, and did you direct any of your officials to help him do that? Why should Americans and why should President Trump believe your statement that Russia did not intervene in the 2016 election? Do you hold Russia at all accountable for anything in particular?
President Putin denied having anything to do with the election interference in 2016. Every U.S. intelligence agency has concluded that Russia did. Who do you believe?
I have great confidence in my intelligence people, but I will tell you that President Putin was extremely strong and powerful in his denial today. He offered to have the people working on the case come and work with their investigators with respect to the 12 people. I think that's an incredible offer.
I was an intelligence officer myself, and I do know how dossiers are compiled. Conclusions can only be made by a court and not by an intelligence service.
When that didn't happen, cue outrage.
Donald Trump should be arrested for treason the moment he sets foot on American soil.
Look, traitor and treason are very serious words. I have avoided them for nearly 2 years, but today's Trump-Putin summit cannot be sugar-coated with milder terms.
This was the day an American president stood on foreign soil next to a murderous, lying thug and refused to back his own country. Patriots need to stand up and reject the behavior of this president.
I never thought I would see the day when our American president would stand on the stage with the Russian president and place blame on the United States for Russian aggression. This is shameful.
John Brennan, former CIA boss and now media darling, even went as far as to brand Trump's appearance treason.
Donald Trump's press conference performance in Helsinki rises to and exceeds the threshold of high crimes and misdemeanors. It was nothing short of treasonous. Not only were Trump's comments imbecilic, he's wholly in the pocket of Putin. Republican patriots, where are you?
Not only does the Department of Justice fail to provide any conclusive evidence linking the Kremlin to the alleged crime, it actually admits that the supposed conspiracy did not affect the vote count or the election. So a confrontation with Putin over meddling was clearly the desired result.
Following an onslaught of attacks after the media conference, Trump decided to defend himself in the usual way on Twitter. He stressed that he has great confidence in U.S. intelligence, which has repeatedly stated Russia meddled in the U.S. election. But Trump also said he can't focus on the past, as the two nuclear powers must get along. Earlier, we spoke to former U.S. Congressman Ron Paul, who believes the current drama is based on the old U.S. media habit of making Russia out to be the enemy.
But you also mentioned so far in this program about the American media, and that is a big problem because for some reason they're almost unanimously endorsing the idea that we have to have an enemy. And at this point, especially for the last 20 years, they've been working very hard to make Russia the enemy. And I think this is wrong. And it's not the Democrats alone that do this. It's the Democrats, and along with some disgruntled Republicans who they just don't like Trump. But no, I was very pleased with what went on, and it's a step in the right direction. I think the biggest thing that if it ever had a serious discussion, I guess it would come out on how much we've been involved when we shouldn't be involved, for instance, in Ukraine and how that occurred. But if they don't want to concentrate on those problems and they want to look forward, I think that is great. But I think the next best step ever would be for us to reassess this and say that Trump's going in the right direction and talk them into getting rid of the sanctions on Russia.